It's not like I have trouble understanding my emotions. Really, I have trouble conveying them to other people. I understand myself completely.
Go ahead, they said. So I opened my eyes. I was inside the ocean.
But I realized recently that that difficulty doesn't have to be one. Certain media can explain or help me explain how I feel. This video is going to be a little different, and I want to somehow explain the passion I have for feeling. The ability to feel is something that I can't stop thinking about. When I think of what makes me a human being, what makes me free, it's the ability to feel.
My mom and I reached out our hands.
This idea came about while reading Children of the Sea. I've never been a fan of the sea itself. I would rather go into space with no suit than to be plunged into the deep ocean, but this book fascinated me. The sea is one of, if not the pinnacle of freedom, and what it means to be able to feel. Everything that it describes and shows you, you feel. At least for me, I felt it down to my core. Every single moment. I shed tears for moments that weren't even sad.
There are very, very few pieces of media that have made me feel in the way this manga did. There are so many things that this book covers I would love to talk about, but most of Children of the Sea's story focuses on the interconnectivity of life. The dependence on every form of life creates a connection, and because of that, the earth functions together as a single organism, with an intertwined web of life in it. The manga author and illustrator Daisuke Igarashi details the limitations of human language. Our language finds us putting our thoughts and feelings in a box, distorting how we truly feel. Emotions, like the sea and like the universe, simply are, an ultimately incomprehensible phenomenon, something we can only feel. However, music is an untethered expression of itself. The whale song is used as a representation of all interconnected life, and Ruka, upon becoming aware of this flow, is able to use the song as a catalyst for an intimate reflection on her own emotions and identity. Children of the Sea puts an immense value on lived experiences, from its inclusion of the mythological testimonies about happenings in the sea to its prevailing messages about finding your place in the world. These testimonies have a certain mystical aesthetic to them, which Daisuke Igarashi seems to be fascinated by. So much so that he brings this aesthetic to his own story. The supernatural aspects within it are always carried out with a certain level of ambiguity, and many unexplainable details are included for the purpose of this mystification. While also plenty aware of scientific analysis and the implausibility of these stories in reality, Igarashi argues that these folktales still have value. They often serve to teach people important lessons about the lives they will be living and the world around them within the context of their culture and their people. These lessons, in my opinion, give you a certain feeling that can only be described as overwhelming. It's a whirlwind of sensory experiences and holds my hand as I dive more and more into the world. Which reminds me of one of my favorite albums of all time and weirdly ties into what I think makes Children of the Sea so good. Closed Captions is an album by Che Romani, and at first I didn't really think I was diving into anything special, but this album is so incredibly different and refreshing to me. Each song I create a little world in my head for. The 22 minutes this album goes on for have an eternal spot in my head. It's like something I've never experienced. It's magical and unlike anything I've ever heard before. Now you might ask why I decided to make a video on these two together. It's because in my brain they're intertwined almost, giving me the same feeling while experiencing them over and over. Absolute sensory overload while consciously soothing. The vibrant yet mysterious atmosphere of Children of the Sea goes perfect without their and creative flows of closed captions. The theme of evolution in Children of the Sea is explored so beautifully and is one of the most masterful ways I've seen a theme, regardless of what it is, be shown. Evolution is the word when it comes to Che. From #100 and Agenda to 3 to CC and most recently Kruger, which is a rambunctious project, he evolves over and over again, which in my opinion perfectly matches the nature of Children of the Sea. Children of the Sea operates on a purely sensory level, speaking through imagery just as the highly symbolic whales that populate the manga and the film speak through oceanic songs to communicate far beyond humanity's capacity to understand them. Explanation can only go so far, so why explain when you can show what you mean? Express your ideas in ways that are unexplainable. Daisuke Igarashi is a master of imagery, and the way he implements feelings onto his pages is otherworldly. The characters besides Ruka herself don't grow or change much because they don't need to. Ruka changes throughout the story to adapt to the environment that she's been thrust into, while every other major character is a part of, or in some cases, is the environment. Sora and Umi are perfect examples of this. They are static because the story revolves around the mystery behind them and what they represent. The more we plunge into their story, the more the world around the other characters expands. The eventual climax operates on such heightened dream logic, yet the message is so beautiful. Closed captions is a painting. It operates on feeling. Che talks about some real shit in here, man. It's fun to go through the range of emotions they go through while listening. Like I said before, each song is its own stories, and vast ones at that. It's a beautiful listen. Draco Draco is specifically my favorite song. It's comforting in moments of stress, uplifting whenever I need it, but most importantly, it invokes emotion. Feeling emotion has always been something that has been a little bit of a struggle. I know what I'm feeling, but I'm not feeling it to the degree I would think. Maybe it's coincidental, but this album fixed that for me almost. But specifically this song. I have the honor to be able to feel mood swings or to feel the full force of an emotion regardless of what it is, and this song started that for me. On the other side, Children of the Sea is a modern folktale, expressing the ambiguous, incomprehensible nature of existence and a critique of the ways in which humanity experiences the world today. A reminder for humanity on an individual scale to come to terms with the mystery of life and finding your place in it, and an appreciation of the coincidence that is existence in the first place. Being alive kind of just happens. However, there is a beauty innate to life, a beauty akin to a song. A song that sings that interconnectivity is something that one can only experience when living in the moment, within the inevitable flow of the universe. Children of the Sea serves as itself an expression of this song, allowing readers to feel its emotion as they experience the story, as well as a call for them to seize that emotion and find their place in their own lives from there on out.
Pull up, that's a bet, it's a bloody deal. Top of dark night, can't fight, this a bloody kill. Bloody this, bloody that, bloody scene, I'm bloodbath. The bullet with your lungs at, replace the sticks with a toe tag.